Okay.
So we were looking and looking and looking for a place, and I drive by this empty Pizza Hut all the time, and finally one day I was like, I'm just gonna call them and see what they've got. So Pizza Hut was totally willing to start conversations with us immediately, and that's how we got here.
Welcome to the Chai Hut.
It took us a month just to scrape the grease out of the building. We had to scrape gum off of all the brickwork in the place, and then scraping soda and grease from the walls and ceiling in the back. And the more we got into it, the more disgusting it was. You know, on first sight, it was like, oh, this isn't so bad. But then when we really got into it, we realized that it was actually in really bad shape. It had been a Pizza Hut for 19 years, and then it was empty for a year. So we were dealing with some serious stuff. And the irony of us, you know, coming out with this alternative to soda and then scraping soda off the walls for days at a time was, it was great. It was a great juxtaposition. My hope for this place is when you come in, you have a completely unique experience that you've never had, and you leave thinking about things like tradition and food and integrity and quality, and we as consumers can vote with our dollar. And so really just wanting people to understand that it is voting with your dollar, and that good things can happen if you choose to purchase in a way that supports your beliefs and your lifestyle.
So this is your kitchen.
So this is the brewery. I just brewed 2 days ago, and there's nothing on the shelf. So we have a supply and demand. We have more demand than we can supply right now, which is a good problem, and it's still a problem. We really intended the Chai Hut as a lily pad. We knew that it was going to be too small for the kind of equipment that we want to run. Really, for a bottling line and a capper of this size, you want it in a huge empty room with nothing around it so that you can move pallets back and forth. But the building was empty, and it was affordable, and it was something that we could get into and get us out of the backyard, and it was really incredible. You can imagine having these pallets dropped off in a residential neighborhood when the school bus and the garbage truck are both trying to get by at the same time. And so it was really important for us to get out of the backyard as quickly as possible, and that's what the Chai Hut's offered us, is a lily pad. So we really anticipate in the next year being able to move the production off-site and to keep this as a public space, open up both the rooms. So maybe one room is like a yoga meeting room, and the other room is the cafe, and we can really serve to fill some of the niches on this side of town in Ashland. The way that I got into Heartsong was because I saw an opportunity to create jobs for young people, and I worked at the Grove, and before that the Ashland Teen Center, and the kids I worked with were having a really hard time finding their first job. Because so many 20-something people move to this valley, and they want to snowboard and they want to hike and swim, and so they're willing to scoop ice cream, and they take the jobs that are traditionally entry-level positions for youth, and so then everybody says, oh, you need work experience, but no one's really willing to do it. And so that's kind of how I got into Heartsong. And now that we have the Chai Hut, we have the opportunity to employ youth. And not only that, but because we ended up with a public space, we have a place for them to come and hang out and be social. And we can do evening and nighttime events that are alcohol-free, all ages. And I think that it's just a crucial part of community is to have an all-ages venue, because then we have the whole community able to gather together. And so we have one youth employed here, and he's 19. His name is Gore. And so he just graduated from the high school last year and still has a lot of friends at the high school. So he's been networking within the school to kind of ask what people would want to do. And some of the things they're coming up with totally surprises me. Like everybody wants to have a Scrabble night where they take all the Scrabble boards and make one big giant Scrabble board and play with as many people come. And you know, I mean, why not? It sounds great to me. I've never heard of it, but so we're going to try that. And then bands and musicians and DJs and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how the Chai Hut is going to play out into that, but I'm really excited to provide that space.
It's almost like you're a canvas and you're just kind of waiting to see what the community will
It
bring
is.
to you.
Yeah, and it's been great, you know. We were just going to put a dorm fridge in here with a couple of our brews and say, okay, we've got a retail space and get back to work on the factory. And it's been a really neat and humbling experience to have Ashland come in here and tell me what they want from this side of town and what they want from us, and for us to be able to respond in a way that created this beautiful space. And it's really neat now to see the hubbub of people coming in and everybody's ideas of what they want. So